beautiful people, and welcome to A Father's Note, where we promote fatherhood through building men. I am your host, Lionel Nelson. It's been a while, you all, but I'm here. I'm here. Yep, I am here. I forgot to put on my show glasses. So if I struggle a little bit, y'all see in my eyes, y'all understand why. But nevertheless, I have to my left one of my beautiful daughters. As a matter of fact, the youngest of them all out of the five. And we're going to let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Kenya. I usually go by Janae to my friends. Hey y'all.
Okay.
um, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
happy to be here.
Yeah. So, hey, listen. Okay, why are we doing this show tonight? Why do I have my daughter on the set? So, one of the things that uh, I've come to realize, and I know I was guilty of it. I definitely was. Is that sometimes we as fathers who have daughters, we struggle with communicating with our daughters. And a lot of times, like I get accused of a lot. I've gotten accused of a lot. And it was just something that I definitely had to work on. Well, daddy, you don't listen. So I had to really look at it from their perspective. I didn't only get it from my daughters, but I got it from my sons as well. So I had to make a change, and I would like to believe that I did make some improvement. But nevertheless, talking with my daughter here, so this is her first time on the show. So far, I would have three of my daughters on the show, and I have two more to go. Hopefully, I can get them on soon. Okay, uh, but I had asked her to come on, and so she said, "Sure, why not?" But let me ask you, what do you expect to get out of this conversation?
I don't know. For the past 2 weeks, I was trying to figure out, okay, what could spark out of this,
Uh huh.
especially since you want me to interview you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you don't want to know the questions I gotta ask, cause I'm just joking.
Well, listen. Um, to be honest to the audience, I don't know what question she's going to ask me, and the reason being, I wanted to be very authentic. I wanted to be as true as it possibly can. Um, yeah, just give me 1 second here, y'all. I'm trying to do something here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we good now. All right. So I just want to welcome all of you again. Um, uh, just a minute, y'all. Yeah, I wanted to welcome all of you to the show. Spread the word. Hey, I think this is going to be a rather interesting conversation. No, and I'm looking forward to it. So I asked her if she was nervous, so she said no. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. So let's get started here. What's your first question? What you got for me?
Okay, well, I just want you to take us back to the 70s. How was it for you growing up?
The '70s. When I think of the '70s, two show. Well, what comes to me is music. Number one, I love. Well, when you first asked the question,
Hmm.
the Commodores came to mind.
Mm,
Okay, and two, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
you love them.
Oh man, listen, I needed deliverance, to be honest. I really needed deliverance, especially from Earth, Wind, and Fire. But my time growing up in the '70s, uh, high school. No, I'm sorry. It comes to mind. Well, middle school.
Mm.
High school. Spending time in high school.
What did you
Uh,
do? Like, were you athletic? I know you became a coach when me and my siblings were younger, but
yeah, I played high school football for about 2 years.
two.
Yeah, that was it. That's it.
And,
Yeah,
and so how you became a coach? For 2 years.
because I know I love the game of football.
Okay.
I love the game of football.
Okay. So you
What?
was just that good on the field then.
Hey, I moved out to starting linebacker.
Nice. Nice. What was your number?
52,
And who did you play for?
Miami Central. Let's go Rockets. Let me give a little. Yeah, let's go Rockets.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also I spent I learned that's why I learned carpentry in high
Mm.
school as well. So it was a lot different than what it is right now.
Mhm.
I can honestly say, to me, I didn't like school. I didn't care too much for school,
Mhm.
but I think the culture was definitely different than from what it is right
Yeah,
now.
let's talk a little bit about that because wasn't that about 50 years ago?
You try- So you calling me old on the side, you know?
Nah, but the 70s, I'm kind of bad at math anyway, so.
No, I don't say that. Well, what you want to know about culture?
Yeah,
The culture?
culture.
Oh, we had a culture, but it was nothing like it is right now. I think that what I love the most about it is that um, uh, wow, we could, you know what? One thing that come to mind back then, we could have had disagreements without being concerned about losing our life,
Mm.
or someone threatening to kill us. It was all really music was big. Of course, it was during the time that the war was going on or coming out of the Vietnam War.
Mhm.
But I was into mostly. I spent most of my teenage years helping to build race cars, you know, or street cars, however they want to phrase them, or hot rod, if I could say that. Yeah, yeah. Papa G was an athlete for Central. Yeah, I
I didn't even know
was.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I was also in the band as well, you all. Just so you all know, my instrument of choice then was trumpet, and as long as I was there, I held down first and second seat. I just want y'all to know that. Yeah,
Okay, you can brag a little bit. I'm gonna
yeah,
let you do that.
I did my thing.
I'm gonna let you brag for a little bit. so, you started off as a band. How did you become so well versed with the many instruments that you know now? Excuse me.
I think it was just in the blood,
Yeah, yeah.
just in the blood.
Did you teach yourself mostly, or did you
Yes,
have a
mostly
teacher?
self taught. You know that the bass guitar is my main instrument. And I never forget that when I was, back then we stayed in apartments and we had a courtyard and we was playing football in the courtyard, um, and what they call sandlot. So I never forget it. My dad coming home with a bass guitar, big white guitar. I didn't know it was a bass at the time, but my dad came home with that, and I saw him going to the house. He came home from work and was going to the house, and I took off running behind him,
Mhm.
and because the bass interested me, I wish I still had it today. And went in the house. He hooked me up. He showed me one line and one bass line,
Mhm.
and it was on and popping for me.
Mm.
And I think I was about at the age of 9 years old. So I've always did love music.
Yeah,
Had a heart for music.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if many of you know, but he was actually in the band for some years, wasn't you?
Yeah. I you talking about as far as uh yeah, okay. So I started playing with my dad. Then after playing with my dad, we had a little family group, my dad, my mom. So then I started playing for the day singers or the theme singers, whichever choose one you want to choose. But it was the day singers
Mm.
during that time. And once I left the day singers, I formed the group, the Miracle Lights. And from the Miracle Lights, I began playing for Second Chapter. I spent about 16 years playing for Second Chapter. Now I'm just with the church. I just play for the church now. That's it.
Faithfully.
faithfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have. At one time, I didn't have to do it, but now I have to. But it's okay because I love doing it. I love doing it, especially for the to glorify God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the music be, oh my gosh, the music be wonderful. Be having everybody jamming up in that church, okay? Like I never heard church music so groovy as you make it, but it's you be in there jamming.
Yeah, no, we're not tradition. No, but yet I'm gonna say this, you all, and it's no offense to anybody. We're not tradition, but we yet remain holy. So
Okay, cool. So, I'm not okay, let me ask this question like this.
mhm,
So before mm, so you first had my sister Crystal, right?
right.
What was your initial thought when my mother said, "Hey, I got a girl"? What did you feel? How did you
Happy,
feel? Yeah.
happy, happy. So, um, well, let me say this because we try to keep it very real on this show. Um, okay, so when Crystal came along, I was married prior, had a son from that relationship. His name is Jerry, and hello, Jerry, love you, son. And then I got married again. Then there was Crystal. So I was happy that I had a daughter. Um, but when I look back, I realized though I was there, though I tried to be a provider, but when I look back though, I really realized that my own personal decisions and choices really altered our relationship as father and daughter because we did not really most of her life did not grow up in the same household.
Mm,
But I was always a phone call away. Would often go and pick her up and spend time with her. But my over the past years, I really having been grounded as I have been grounded in the past 15, 17 years, I realized what I really robbed my firstborn children of really having that family atmosphere with a father and a mother in the same home, creating that type of culture. It's different when you are fathering in another house other
mm,
than your house, or you're raising your child between two homes.
mm,
There's going to be some lack,
yeah.
and I would have to absolutely say that there was some lack on my part. I'm not blaming her because she was innocent. Uh, and if you're watching this, Crystal, love you. Um, but I dropped the ball. It was my life decisions that choices that I made. A lot. I'm going to say this here that a lot of times we as parents we feel that if we get a divorce, getting a divorce is, and especially if the children are young, that they're not going to be affected by it.
Yeah.
They're not going to be bothered by it. But I've come to the realization now, and I realize that that is untrue. They
Yeah.
will be affected by it. I see that how our relationships, even with you, had been altered in a lot of ways because of the separation of homes, the separation of father, son, father, daughter. It's no question about it. And though we make these decisions now as adults for our own peace, but though we may have peace for ourselves, though, we open up a whole different, I'm going to use this word, Pandora box
Mhm.
for our children that a lot of times, even though we may think they're not affected by it, they are affected by it, and it may take some time for them to ever go, get over it. So
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. And I also just want to piggyback off of it. Like, what were some of the things that you took away when raising Crystal to, I guess, when raising me, you said that there were some flaws and you knew that there were some flaws. So like, what did you do differently with raising me is the question.
Well, what I thought I was doing differently, um, it didn't matter because, and now let me explain that, because I was still operating in the same flow: divorce, separation, two houses. Now, I didn't start out like that with you and I. You know, you were there the majority of my life until, you know, a certain point in time
Mm.
that, you know, you all moved back with your mother. But if I had to do it over, if I had to do it over, Kenya, I will honestly tell you that um, I wouldn't have made the decisions that I made.
Mm.
From I'm talking about going back to my very first wife, I would not have made the decisions. Now I know my wife watching, my current wife watching, and you know we've had this discussion. So I want everybody to know she's watching, and she knows how much I truly, truly love her, and I thank her for, you know, her part in my restoration as a man, as a husband, and as a father. She was a great asset. But I'll encourage anybody, everybody, those of you who are in marriages, I don't care how rocky it may be, if it's not volatile, you can work it out. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to know, what was the funniest thing that ever happened to you during the times that you were parenting all of us? I mean, it could be from Jerry all the way up to me. What was the funniest, maybe not the most embarrassing, but more like wow.
For me or for
Yeah,
you all?
for you.
Hmm. Funniest moment. I don't know. That's a hard one. Um, Funniest moment. Now you're gonna have me stretching my brain here.
Just reminiscing on some memories, you know?
Wow.
Like, was there ever a time that you had to struggle with us?
Y'all children, of course.
On that note, I
Now,
would not be having
wait
kids.
a minute. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Let me define the question when you what you mean by the term struggle. What do you mean
Um,
by struggle?
Struggling. I mean, it's an umbrella term.
It's an umbrella term. It's a challenge because you know what? You know, if I had to answer that, this is how I would answer that. The challenge would have been learning the different personalities of all of you all,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because the saying is, you know, just like Monreal said today, Mook said today, everybody was accusing you of getting away with everything because you know, like you you had me wrapped around your finger.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't think so, huh?
No.
Child, okay, all right, all right.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think that. I
yeah.
mean, it may have been.
If
It may have been differently for everyone else, but I felt like
I
I
tell
had
you,
it rough.
hold
Well, maybe
on.
not rough,
Let me ask
but
you a question.
okay.
Have you ever remembered a time that I spanked you?
Yeah.
When? When?
That you would
Ah,
spank me
when?
whenever
Huh?
I'm fighting
Oh,
James.
okay, okay. Well, that was because no, that was out of the question. I wasn't going to allow you all to be fighting
But
amongst one another.
sometimes siblings just need to, box it out.
No, no, no. Then y'all have to do that somewhere else. Y'all better not let me know about it because I don't care if you're adults with children or whatever. I'm still going to deal with it. No, we do not fight. We do not fight. But if I had to answer your question though,
Uh-huh.
adjusting to all the personalities, right?
Mhm.
Still being loving,
Mhm.
still maintaining discipline, even dealing with the fact of this child may feel that uh, you're getting away with more than them and that child, the child above them. And well, I couldn't have got away with that. So that's that form of parenting multiple children. If I had a challenge, I would say that was definitely it.
No, we definitely needed them boxing gloves, Luke. He lucky he didn't get it because I think I would have knocked James' teeth out.
Oh, hey, that's your brother now. Stop.
You know I love him. I don't feel this way about him now. Me and him have come to a common ground.
Uh-huh.
I still think he's a man.
Yeah.
But I love him though.
Okay, yeah, but he's not part of this conversation.
No, he's not. But
All
I
right.
love him. And if you're watching this, you're amazing.
All right. Let's look at this comment here. We got a comment here. A dad's job never ends. It's not easy. It's a marathon. Mistakes will be made, but the joy is if you can mentor your kids when it's their time. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? And that's a true statement because in my book I wrote that really as fathers, we're never gonna stop fathering, never stop parenting, even when you all are adults and out of the house. That never stops. It never stops. So but dealing with the different personalities and making sure I'm even with everybody.
Cool. So with that being said, I have this question written down because this is a good one. And I know that there's other parents on this live. So, you can ask this question for yourself. Do you measure your success as a parent by the quality of the relationship or by how effectively you can control them? Them meaning your children.
No, I strive to have a relationship with them. Now, my theory, and I've always said this, is that I don't never have to try to justify or say, I'm your daddy. You better listen to me. I'm your father. No, I didn't. I didn't feel a need that I would have to say that. Parents have a tendency to want to say that. They want to throw that up in the child's face. That's something I never did. And for the very simple reason that there's nothing in eternity can ever change the fact that I am your father and you are my daughter. So there's no need of we even going there. But what I strive to do is I think the relationship, having a good relationship, an open relationship is what's most important. And the reason that I say that, because if with so much going on in the world, and especially when you're talking about rearing up children, I'd rather they have a relationship and knowing that they can come to me or to their mother and ask that tough question that they may want to ask or need to ask, instead of going to some other person who I don't know of or getting information out there in the streets. I'd rather that they are knowing that they can come home or call home and they can get an answer to that tough question or direction that they're faced with. That's what I think is more important.
So,
relationship.
On building that relationship, did you ever focus more on what we were becoming or what we were doing?
That's a good question.
Oh, thank you.
That's a good question. And that's a question that will require me to give a little thought to. I'm gonna answer it both. I'm gonna say it was measured on both. It's not, and when I say both, it's not from a perspective of wanting to control. I think the most important thing is that, okay, are you representing the family name? Does your character reflect what the Nelson name stands for? And that's very important. And I got that from my father. And the reason being that I say that because, see, my father knew so many people. And as a child growing up, there was hardly any place where I could go and somebody says to me, "Aren't you Mosby Nelson's son?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes." And their response, and I'm saying to myself, "Man, I'm glad I'm on my best behavior." Yeah. Because I know that if I was doing anything that was contrary to his belief and what he stands for and what belief, then it would bring a reproach on him. So no matter what, I always, when you talk about what you all do, I always want to make sure that as you all were conducting yourself in a way that does not bring a reflection to the family
Yeah.
name. Because as I've always said, even if I do something as a father, if I go out and get drunk or I'm on drugs or I'm doing something that's immoral, okay, even though you may not be there at that present time,
Mm-hmm.
you may be miles away from me committing that act.
Mm.
But once that act is exposed and is out in public and is in public view, you're going to be affected by it.
Mm.
It's a
Yeah.
domino effect. Everybody that's connected to me is going to be affected by it. So it's the same thing with you all when you're in school, when you're on your job or wherever. Your behavior matters because it's connected to the entire family.
So with that being said, and this question is just to pick your brain a little bit. Did you ever want us to make a commitment? Was it more of us making a commitment, or was it just you forcing things on it because you wanted to obtain a certain reputation?
I was very strict about behavior, no question about it. Because if I respect you enough to make sure that I, as a parent, is carrying and conducting myself in a way that is honorable,
Mhm.
then I feel that the children should be obligated to that as well. So, but it was never about forcing you all to do anything. There's a comment here about by our oldest daughter. She says that it's measured by their outcome, in my opinion. Every kid needs a unique style of parenting. Don't I hope you don't mind if I change that word kid to child. While you have a Christian relationship, do you have integrity? Are people better because of your presence? That is spot on. That is a spot on comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, you know what? Okay, so now I might go back to one of your questions, right? So
Go
this is
ahead.
what I had to learn,
Okay.
right? Okay, so and I'm gonna start with my father. My father was boom, 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 boom. A, B, C, one, two, three, and that's it.
Yeah.
There was no gray area, right? So when I had my first son, guess what?
You was
How
the
I was.
same
I was
way.
the same way.
Yeah.
And I was that way in his life for 12 years until I had one of those Damascus experience with God. And God pointed out, wait a minute, you're doing the same thing to your son that your father did to you, and you did not like it. So how do you expect him to like it?
Yeah.
So when God spoke that to me, I had to change my whole perspective as far as how I wanted to parent him. But I did stress the fact that my children conduct themselves always, because you don't know who knows you,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know who knows us. So it is definitely something that I'm very, very strong on. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to be rambling on. Go ahead.
Nah, you good. You're doing good. Okay, so my next question is, do you believe that you model the behavior that you want your sons to exhibit? And I say sons because I mean I'm not a man. So with that being said, like do you carry yourself in the sense of this is how I want my sons to follow in
I
my
have to.
footsteps?
Yes. Because
Okay.
it's like something a discussion me and mom had. And she made this comment, and it is absolutely true. Every child get their identity from their child. I mean, from their father.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't know how to answer that, bro. Um, every child, if there's an issue on YouTube, I have no idea why. Okay, I just got a comment here. But anyway, every child get their identity from their father, right? Because when I look, this is a sidebar. When I look at myself and how I carry myself, I
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of my ways like my father,
Mm-hmm.
right? They just different because I'm in a different time. I've that's good. Thank you for that one, Miss D. Definitely, it's about legacy. I think protecting your family and your legacy go hand in hand with family value. That is
Mm-hmm.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
So that's what, and I know you know that. I've always said that. Hey, listen. This is what I want. This is what I want. Now, how you live your life is one thing,
Yeah.
but they can never say that I didn't teach them. They can't never say that I didn't strive to be an example to them.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I have to model the way.
Yeah.
I have to. That's so I do what I do. I carry myself the way that I carry myself because number one, I know I have sons. I know how they're going one day going to have relationships. So I have to model that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to show them what it's like to love on their wife, what it's like to love on their children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made mistakes. I made mistakes as a father. And even learning in that, hey, don't be so caught up just because you're a father, you feel that you're an authoritative figure that you cannot admit when you're wrong, when you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's your question.
Okay, and you talk about success a lot. You talk about being wealthy, and having that, being able to just stand on your own without having to work. And this is your slogan. You trade your time for their money.
Mhm.
So I just want to know, you've gone on this mindset for about a while now. It's been about 10 years, I want to say.
Mhm.
And my question is, like, are you trying to make your family successful just so that you will feel successful? And the only reason why I'm asking this,
Good question.
this is just content, because I know that there are parents out there who sometimes try to live their lives vicariously through their children. And I just want to know, was that ever your intent, or like, what was your thought process when it came to pushing wealth on us?
I have so many answers for that question. It's a good question. Number one, I know what it's like to struggle not having money. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. I know what it's like to dig in car seats looking for change so you can get $2 worth of gas. I know what it's like to have to avoid the tolls so that you rather go the long way around when you can take the shortcut, short way, but it requires you to go through a toll and but you don't have the money for the toll. So I know what that struggle is
Yeah.
like. And going back to your previous question, I never wanted you all to have that type of life. So uh, when I came to the knowledge of the truth of how important money, how important wealth was, I'm like, no, I got to change this. So what I've always strived to do is to make sure that at the time when y'all were young,
Mm-hmm.
y'all started getting books instead of toys. Y'all started getting information on wealth. Y'all started getting videos about wealth,
Mm-hmm.
so you can have that mindset. Hey, listen, this is what you need because you need to do what you want, what you need to do right now, so you can do what you want to do later. So, as far as me wanting to live my life or my legacy through the success of my children, no, I could create my own success.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what's happening between my wife and I. We create our own success. No, that's your money. Let me take.
Yeah.
Let's say, for an example, let's take your brother Toro.
Okay.
Um, I mean, hey, listen, excellent football player,
Yeah.
and had an opportunity to make it to the pros. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, I know his heart, and I know that if he had made it, I know what he would have done for his parents.
Yeah.
Right? It's no question. But you know what though? I didn't want his money. That's his success. My success is knowing that he succeeded.
Yeah.
My success is knowing that you succeeded. All 8 of our children succeed in life.
Yeah.
There's one slogan I have on my vision board that says that the best way to help poor people is not to become one of them.
That's kind of funny, But
but it's
that's
true.
true.
But it's true.
That's
So
true.
my whole objective with you all, no, you got your own money.
Yeah.
You may make more money than me.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fine. But me and mom, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be straight too.
Yeah.
But it's all about, and one of the things that I find, I'm gonna say this with black people, is that we are poor money managers. We are so illiterate when it comes to money. Because we think we're so used to folks giving us stuff. No, go out there and create your own. We can't complain and argue about, I don't normally have this kind of talk, but I'm going to talk it right now. You can't complain about the white man got this, the white man got that, the white man got that, the white man got. Let me show you something. If somebody did a story, I hope I'm not going off on this down a bunny. Let's just say I'm going to go down this bunny trail. What I mean by that, we have so many black millionaire athletes, shall I say billionaires.
Mm.
And then the minute they get out of the game, they broke.
Yeah.
Why?
They don't know how to manage their money.
Let me tell you what, one time when I was working with this particular company, I won't even mention, but I had to go in their home, and there was a young man there, and it was right at the beginning when I started with a father's note. So, I'm making contact. I'm talking with this young man. Hey, do you have a father? No. Where's your father? Well, he's out there. All right, very good. Okay, and he's living with his mother. He's 16 years old, and I'm just talking about getting familiar with his life.
Mm-hmm.
Star athlete, football player, and his mother came out of her mouth and said this. Now you live in government housing, and this don't knock against nobody, but I'm going to tell you this struck a nerve with me. She said this. Yeah, my son gonna get me up out of here. And I turned around before I said, no, he's not. I said, nah, that's his career.
Yeah.
That's his success. His success, now you may have making away and assisting him in it, but that's his choice what he wants to do with his money.
Right.
It's not his responsibility that you are here.
And that's what I mean with mothers. Really, it would really be the mothers that live their lives vicariously through their children just because they didn't do what they wanted to do or become that successful person. It's
Can't do it. You shouldn't do it.
And you see it in the children, like it actually divides the mother and the children, because it's like they're burdened by wanting to take care of themselves and trying to grow up and take care of their parents at the same time. And so I'm thank you for your answer.
Preaching this, sister, and it's the truth. when a young man, he becomes successful, whether high school, college, the pros, then all of a sudden the father shows up. Why? Wait a minute, hold on now. Where you been at? Not because you want part of the pie. That's wrong. He's wrong for that.
Yeah.
So is that part of my mantra? Is that part of what I believe in? No. Let me show you something. I'm gonna go here. So I hope I'm not sharing too much, but this might help somebody. So, since my father transitioned, there was some property that he left behind. And before. And so I was telling them, hey, you got to put your stuff in a will. You need to put it in a trust, put all your property in a trust. And my words to them was, to my mother and them both, hey, whatever my other siblings want, they can have it. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I know that might sound crazy to some of y'all, but I'm keeping it real. Why? Because I trust God enough that if I do right by what I'm supposed, number one, by him, and if I am smart enough and intelligent enough, I can make my own money. I can buy my own property without, and leave that property for my children. Okay. We got a comment here. Let's look at this comment here. Thank you all for your comments. Now, if you want to call in, just let me know. You know what? Let me put that number up before I put this. If you want to call in, you got a question to the show, or for Kenya or myself, you can call into 954-559-9300. 954-559-9300.
Y'all better call in right now because I'm done with my questions. So
All right, they're cool. So yeah, call in if you want to call in direct, or if you have a comment, we'll accept that as well. Okay. Let's look at these two comments real quick. Oh, somebody's calling.
oh wow. I like that.
Somebody's calling.
Miss Dolores says a lot of parents put their children, in particular their sons, into sports in hopes of them making it into the pros so that the child can/will take care of them. I totally agree with that. Because the child is so good.
Hold on, Calder.
And because a child can be so good in sports, it's like whenever because I have a few athletic friends from FAU, and whenever I speak to them, it's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to take care of my family, or I got to pay my mama rent, I got to give her 5,000 out of every check that I get out of just playing in college.
No,
and that's crazy.
It's wrong. It's wrong. That's wrong. You don't do it. No, that's their success. You support the. You know what? Let me say this here. I don't know how you all may feel about this, but I'm going to say this. It is not your responsibility as a child to take care of me. It's my responsibility to do what I need to do for you, leave an inheritance, do everything I need to do to leave inheritance. Now, how can oh, Lord, thank you. How can I expect you to take care of me when I haven't even done my part by you? If I die and I leave nothing for you to advance yourself, then I'm wrong for asking you to take care of me as a child. Now I'm just gonna keep it real.
Now, do you feel like the parent, that parent in particular, has failed? I just for lack of a better word, do you think that they just, you are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying. I can't answer that. Oh, I forgot. Hey, call back. I apologize. Call back.
Sorry.
Let's get this. No, I wouldn't say that they fail. I'm not going to say that, because it may be for lack of knowledge. It may be they're part of ignorance. But we live in the most opportunist country in the world.
Okay, Daddy, answer the phone.
Okay. Let me take this call here. Go ahead, caller. Okay. Can you talk into your phone directly?
Hello?
Please? Yes. Go ahead, caller. Turn your volume down on how you're listening, and just listen to it directly. Yes.
Turn your volume down on how you're listening. Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we do.
Can you guys hear me?
I hear you, but you need to turn down your volume on your listening device.
Okay, I'm turning it down.
Okay, thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Are you watching a video on the computer?
Oh yeah, pause the video. Sorry.
No, you're
I'm
good.
doing both. So we're currently pausing it actually.
Oh, you could just turn it down. You don't have to pause it.
Okay. Well, hi, this is Kari. This is Mace's friend. I'm just saying hi, and I'm actually enjoying this segment very well, and it's so beautiful to just see a father and daughter sit down to have an open conversation about how he grew up and how is it to raise, the siblings and stuff, and to just let them box it with some gloves. So I just want to say hi, friend, and hi, Dad. That's it.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the call. Appreciate it. Yes.
No problem.
All righty. Cool. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Let me see here. Miss Dominique said, let's get back to this. Child
Okay.
success is a source of pride for parents. Absolutely. I don't need what you got. I need you to make your own success. And I agree. That's how I feel. That's how I live my life. Um, uh, to make sure that, because like I said, I know the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you all to live or to experience that struggle.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that, again, with that, if I have done my part with providing you with the resources, the information, the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't use it, you can't fault me for that.
That's facts.
You can't fault me for that.
That's facts,
Yeah.
because it was in my face and I didn't use it, so I can only blame myself. But there was something that you said when you was like, you can't blame the white man anymore. It was I seen this quote that said, "Losers focus on the winners, and winners focus on winning." And that's how we have to think in this rat race that we live in. You know, we trying to beat the trend or just be on the same wavelength as everybody else, but I'm like, no, I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to live for the fame or live just to please everyone else, cuz I'm not going to be happy at the end of the day.
It's good. Uh, I'll put it like this, sir. Biblical principles are all, when they're applied, they are always a win. Biblical principles. You don't have to be holier than thou, sanctimonious, or whatever. But if you're applying the principles of God,
Mhm.
He is true to His word.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else for me?
Do you have any questions for me? Cuz you said you had some questions under your belt, so I just want to know.
Oh, no, not really. Okay. Let me see if I have one question
It's you
here.
leaning back for me.
Hey, well, first of all, I appreciate you coming on.
Of course. Thank you for asking me.
Hey, yeah, because I think it's important though, and I hope that our listening audience um, are really getting something out, especially fathers. Um, Look, let me say this: you are responsible for the well-being of your daughter. If your daughter likes something, check yourself. Check yourself. If and I going back to Crystal, I really filled with her, and I wrote a chapter in my book, my upcoming book, that's entitled the emotionally absent father, and and I realized that though I was there, she knew who her father was, but I never connected with her emotionally.
Hmm.
And and we've had our moments as well. Um, but I just want you to know and hear my heart on this, that I was always willing to do what was necessary to um, restore it, uh, to make it right, because I love my children. I love my children. I will move heaven and earth for my children.
Which we all know you do, but I just want to let you know that you can say that you always there for your children till you blue in the face. But there's something more than just being there. That emotional attachment is big. And it was hard, especially growing up in my teens, connecting to you, because I was a daddy girl growing up until I think I hit like high school, and I was like, Daddy, I don't care about what you gotta say no more. Like I
Wow.
was I was I was in that mindset, yes, because I'm growing up. I'm exploring the world. I'm getting to know myself a little bit more. I'm coming to my own mind. So therefore it's like I told you recently, when you're giving me wisdom in my young 16-year-old mind, you was lecturing me. I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
No,
we
what
had that discussion.
you
We
know,
had
but
that conversation. We did. We did.
but I is
But
I
can I don't mean to cut off, but can I respond to that?
yeah.
Okay, so then this is the lesson what I got from that, right? Okay. So and I hope this will help some fathers out there. So if your daughter or your son is telling you, hey, it sound like you're lecturing me, then maybe you need to change your approach. Maybe you need to change your words. Maybe you need to talk more on a sensible uh, 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 vibe or perspective. Because, it was something that you said to me a little while back. And you said, Dad, it sounds like you're lecturing me. And I'm like, wait a minute, though. I'm taking my time. I'm making sure that I'm articulating my thoughts. And you still say I'm lecturing you?
Daddy, you be articulating them thoughts, okay? You be articulating them thoughts.
Yeah, y'all be saying I be speaking in parables.
You do. In analogies, I'll be like, you gonna explain what you just said to me? Because that's probably a part in the Bible that I ain't read yet.
Yeah, but listen. Okay, so this is what I would say to that. But when I heard that, I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? Okay, then maybe I need to change my approach. So now here it is. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that after being this way for so many years, because communication is so important in relationship. I don't care what relationship it is.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to communicate, and the Bible tells us that in all thy getting, get an understanding.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I'm clear, but yet if I'm not, and I would say this to you all, that if I'm not clear to you, then ask the question.
Yeah.
Hey, well, no, I don't understand. I'm not following that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's.
Yeah, I totally hear you when you say ask the question, because I be confused, but in that moment of my confusion, I'd be like, I don't even want to continue having this conversation with you no more. So I don't even care about the answer to the question that I got. It's just, but Dad, what I also noticed is that you really had to like change the way you spoke to me, change like everything, because when it came to, like, let's just say my eldest siblings, the way you spoke to them, I don't think you can speak to me like that, Eddie.
There's a question.
What's the question?
There's a question to Kenya. You didn't understand then. How do you see it now? Usually it's a teen mindset. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. How I see it now, I guess I put myself in my parents' shoes. Because I'm 23, and sometimes I still feel like he's a bit controlling.
Okay. Why?
And the only reason why I say that is because if I'm safe, then why do you need my location? But I get where he's coming from, because he don't know the environment that I'm in. He don't know the people personally that I'm around. So of course he's going to be concerned by, what's going on, how am I doing, and things of that nature. And when he asked for my location, I was just like, yeah, I don't care, sure. But then when he had my location, I was like, okay, so you just gonna watch my every move, huh? I mean, he called me like, hey, so I see you not at work. No. I think he said, so I see you're not home. I said, Dad, I'm at work. He was like, oh, okay. All right. No worries. And then he brought it up. In another situation, he said, even my own mother has. I even have my own mother location, and she's how's grandma? Like 84?
She'll be 85 in July.
84 years old. And I'm like, okay, but Daddy, that's your mama. She lives around the corner, and he still has her location. So I guess I had to really grow out of that mindset of my parent is trying to control me or trying to keep me in this bubble. And it be even times where I get in that mindset where, like, I feel like I'm in a prison. I can't do nothing, because if I do, it's just like, something. But it's all love. And my dad, he's way different than me. He's not going to show the same love, but he shows it though in his own way. So it's I'm still learning his way of showing love, because when I tell you, like, until I was 16, until I graduated college, I was like, Daddy, I don't care what you saying. I don't. But I want to get back into that, relationship that I had with my dad. And I mean, I don't know when he's. I'm not trying to tell your age, Daddy, but I love you. But I don't know when he's gonna go. So before then, I'm gonna make sure that I did my part in honoring my daddy.
Love you too, man. Hey, it's always there. It's always been there. It
Yeah.
never left.
It's. I mean, it's gonna be. It was hard. It was hard, Minister Ann. It was very hard. Just maturing, but it's get better. I mean, that's all I can really say. It get better. Miss D said that's maturity, understanding from another's point of view. Being able to accept correction is another level of maturity. You will understand it differently when you are a parent.
And there's another one that says the same thing.
Y'all, the day I have kids, I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But I totally get what y'all are coming from.
Well, but let me respond to the location thing, then we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
It's that hour has approached, come and gone. Yeah. So why? Because number one, it has nothing to do with. I understand. I respect. Let me say it this way. I respect the fact that you're 23. I respect the fact that you are a young adult. You live in my house, and you're a young lady, and especially sometimes with your work hours, I am concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make sure that you're safe. And if I know where, if something was to happen, I put it like, let me say this too. Right now, honey, I am the only man in your life. So guess what? I know where my wife be's at. We communicate that information. I know where my mom be's at. Why is that? Because if anything go down or whatever, I need to know where I need to put my hands on the women that are in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple. And that's all it is. It has nothing to do with control. I want you to live your life. I want you to be happy. But, I do have rules.
Yeah.
I do have guidelines. I do have standards. I do have principles here, in this house.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stick to it. I might change my way of approach and discipline and things like that. But the principles and the rules are always going to be the same. They're going to remain the same. So how I apply them is one thing, but they're going to remain the same. But it has nothing to do with you. But I just want to make sure that you well. If I need to go get you, I'm going to go get you. You can ask your sister Paris that. It don't matter how far you are.
Oh, he gonna pull up.
I'm going to come get my child. That's simple. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for your comments. Your comments really is what made this show what it is. Thank you for your viewership. And if you like what we're doing here, and especially if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and share. And if you're not, how about go over, if you haven't subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the comment, hit the like button, leave a comment, just to help us out there. We're definitely making progress with our subscribers. We just want to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, and with you can help. So share this video with your friends. You can share it on Facebook, and hopefully we'll be back next week. My wife will be co-chair next week, and hopefully we can reach out to some of our guests because we had to stop with the show on pause for a little while as we had to address the transitioning of my wife's mother. So we had been toiling with that and praying and believing, but we know that she made it to heaven, and we thank God for that. But please support the channel. share the good news, share what we do here. And if you don't, I'm going to say this. I'm just want to take just a little, maybe about 2 minutes to say this because I never really, I hear different ones talk to me about what they get out of a father's note. But I heard a testament from someone today, a former guest on the show. And what was intriguing is that how they were able to take the interview that I had with them and to share it with family members that to an extent allowed that family to come together, get a better understanding of where they're at, their relationship. That's monumental to me. And I really don't worry about views a lot. I just make sure the content is what it is and that it's something that you can get something from it. It's not about me, you all. Believe me what I tell you. It is about you, the viewer. As we do the show, it's to help fathers, it's to help men in whatever capacity. Because can I give y'all some truth here? None of us really got it all right. None of us really have it all together. We have struggled. We have done some things wrong, and some things that we wish that we can take back, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But you know what? Be truthful with yourself. Be honest. If you messed up, you messed up, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just get it right. It's only a mistake if you never correct it. It's only a mistake if you never correct it. So again, I encourage you, fathers, brothers, husbands, wives, mothers, sisters. You know who you are. Do this for me, if you would, please. If this show has really impacted your life in whatever capacity, if it has helped you in whatever way, if you leave me a comment letting me know that, please. Okay, because that's encouraging. That's my reward. And if I can help you, if this show can help you, something that my guests that I have on the show say that can help you, my wife, or even this conversation tonight, if this has been helpful to you, please leave a comment and let us know, okay? That's the encouragement part. That's what keeps us going. But without any further ado, you got anything else, sweetie?
I'm good.
It's my baby, y'all. She gonna always be my baby, even when she get 50 years old. I plan on being around a long time. Hey, y'all, we're gonna get out of here, all right? And appreciate all of you. God bless and have a good night.